that is some dancing that's gonna get you late.
I have zero clues when it comes to rant or commentary, but here we go. So, Trump's our president again, and oh boy, do I have things to say. Let me be fully transparent. I have had zero interest in politics for the longest time, stemming all the way from my adolescence. My entire family was completely content to never discuss politics, not only because we know how completely asinine they are, but because it was more than likely we would bite each other's heads off, regret things that had been said, and make each other's wounds at the dinner table. I was completely willing to ignore Donald J. Trump and his army of MAGA losers for the longest time. Then 2020 happened. It was February. I was ready to get out into the workforce, and then COVID hit us. Places were closing down. People had to stay inside and wear masks and get vaccinated, while the virus was mutating and getting stronger and killing minks. And the whole time, Trump did nothing for us. It wasn't until 2024 that I learned that as Americans were getting infected and dying, that Donald Trump had contacted Vladimir Putin and had given him COVID tests we could have used, but Trump just ignored all the deaths around him. Then Trump lost the 2020 election, and rather than bow out gracefully, the man tried to start a coup on Biden's inauguration day, inciting an insurrection at the Capitol, then watching as his frothing at the mouth rabid dog followers injured and killed people, looted from the building, vandalized the building, and even called for the death of Mike Pence for not helping Trump to rig the election so he would win. It's at this point that I, someone who's raised by Republican parents, but doesn't identify as either right or left, decided to hate this fat, fugly has-been TV star. Never want to see him in the White House again. But that wasn't the end of it. Trump chose to run again, and for the most part I chose to ignore that too, just waiting to see which of the two old fossils would return to the earth first. Then the debate in 2024 happened, and Biden proved everyone who thought he was too old to be president again right by having a senior moment and zoning out during the debate like he had zero clue where he was. All cards on the table, I never liked Biden. I never liked any politician, and viewed the debates between Biden and Trump for what they were. Two old farts bitching at each other. Regardless of who won, both would look like complete losers. After that disaster of a debate, Biden did what he probably should have done from the start. Bowed out and allowed his Vice President Kamala Harris to take the stand as the next potential president of the United States. And that was probably the second worst thing he could have done. That one had good energy. She was liked way more than Biden, even by some Republicans. Yet this happened too late in the year, when the elections would come to a close, and when it came right down to it, it seemed that time was what worked against her. Despite all the odds, Trump won the election. It was at that moment that I realized that not only is voting a waste of time, and I'll never do it again, that what decides a president isn't moral integrity or substantial plans for the future of the country, but who has the loudest voice.
Fuck you very, very much.
I really don't think I need to say anything about Trump. Everyone already knows he's a canned toad in a good suit and a bad toupee. Everyone knows that he's an oversized toddler who's been wearing the same diaper since 2020, who throws a fit whenever the word no is directed his way. Everyone knows he wants the acceptance of Kim Jong-un and Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin. Everyone knows this is the man who thinks windmills can cause cancer and that you can nuke hurricanes. Everyone knows he has zero clue how the economy actually works. Everyone knows he wants to set the country back when women didn't actually have any rights, and you can use all the slurs you want without fear of being judged. Everyone knows he's the fuggliest man alive, and even his wife wants something to do with him and his 3-inch pole. And anyone who does express any interest in him has insanely low standards in men. Everyone knows he embodies all the 7 deadly sins, and will most likely be going to hell the next time he bites into a Big Mac and goes into a diabetic coma. And even Satan will be disgusted at how irredeemably evil he is. In all seriousness, this man should have never been allowed anywhere near politics. Only reason he wanted to be president in the first place is because he thought it would mean he could get away with whatever he wanted. And now that he's going to be president again, he's taking steps to assure that that assumption will become a reality. If he gets his way, not a single Republican in Congress will deny his craziest demands. And crazy demands he will have for 8 years. Mental health professionals have been telling the public that Trump suffers from dementia and Alzheimer's, among other things. Even though it's already out there in the open, you got conservative media like Fox, we're not the actual news because we don't want to get sued, saying washing Trump while mocking Biden. Now again, this is a man who thinks you can nuke a hurricane that windmills cause cancer. You're apparently an idiot for pointing out all the insane things Trump says, because Trump is somehow this master troll, despite the fact that he fell for Putin trolling him and the entire MAGA party, aiming to endorse Kamala Harris simply because he knew it would drive Trump and MAGA out of their goddamn minds.
Fuck you very, very much.
Every single member of MAGA is a head on Jackass Hydra. This movement is the result of when the shamelessly ignorant and intolerant not only embrace, but revel in their stupidity. There are at least 4 types of your usual MAGA turd. The slack-jawed, low-information, uneducated yokel, accepting whatever propaganda they hear as fact and parroting it. Trolls who see today's political climate as the perfect opportunity to epically pwn the libtards. D-tier celebrities desperate to be relevant again. And the Republican political grifter who seeks to make money off the first type of MAGA turd. They've been around since Trump started the Make America Great Again mantra, but 2024 was probably them at their worst. Who'd go on social media and inevitably any discussion of Kamala Harris have some twat claim that she slept around to get where she is, that she's a drunkard without any shred of evidence other than, well, the Trump campaign said so, or that she's somehow mentally impaired because, again, Trump said she is. Never mind that he's shown more evidence of being mentally impaired himself. They also just throw around buzzwords like communist and Marxist. I don't have any real idea what those words mean, because that's what Trump and his colleagues call the left. That's because, as somebody pointed out, it's more a cult than an actual movement. Anything Trump said, MAGA will accept without question. Anything Trump tells them to do, MAGA will do, without nary a thought of the consequences for their actions. Trump wrongs them like he did when he left an entire group of them out in the middle of nowhere after a rally. They'll find a reason to blame someone else and keep worshipping him. Trump told them he doesn't care about them, he just wants their votes. And these trained seals bark and clap without thinking. And there was an assassination attempt on Trump's life. The overripe orange wore a bandage on his ear, and his followers did the same thing. Keep in mind that these are the same people who said that anyone who went out and got vaccinated and wore masks were sheep. This is cultish behavior. Even Republicans have called MAGA an extremist cult. Oh, but those are just rhinos, right? They're not real Republicans. They aren't real patriots. They're just Republicans in name only. Because Trump said so. Haters are cultish, they are racist, they are anti-LGBT, xenophobic, ignorant, sexist, willfully ignorant, and they are violent. Patrick Egan, a Trump supporter, attacked a journalist whose only crime was they weren't pasty white enough for his liking, and choked said journalist shouting, "This is Trump's America!" That's only the MAGA turd who shouted at journalists, "I hope you get raped, I hope you get murdered, and I hope you get dismembered," all because Trump declared the media the enemy of the people. So MAGA, because I know you're watching, let's have a little talk. None of you are actually following Trump because you care about the country. You follow him because he enables you to embrace the worst aspects of yourselves. Day after election, students were carrying around signs saying women are property and gay sex is sin. Black people got text messages telling them to show up bright and early this morning to pick cotton in the fields. To the Christians in MAGA, you know what kind of man Trump is. You know he's committed adultery 3 times already. You know he embodies all 7 of the 7 deadly sins. You compare him to Jesus, because you want him to help you make the country go backwards. Because the women are once again subservient to the men, like you believe they should be, and so you can openly discriminate against the LGBT and call them the F slur. You didn't choose him because you believe he's America's savior. You chose him just because you wanted a reason to hate. Well, I hate needlessly hating others, which is precisely why I hate all of you. You are what is poisoning America. You chose to worship a false idol and damn yourself for breaking one of the 10 commandments. You chose the felon to be our president and caused other world leaders to look at us with other contempt as the banana republic we've become. You chose to make America the nation of intolerance and bigotry. Well, let me tell ya, I live in the real America. A nation that embraces diversity, equality, inequality, and tolerance. Originally, I would have cried for something to hit the reset button since this experiment called America has been another failure. Then something interesting happened. Some of you MAGA morons actually started to use those squishy pink things in your skulls. You went out and researched who will actually pay for the tariffs that Trump has been pushing for, and learned that it isn't going to be countries like Canada or China that's going to be paying for them. It's going to be us. You then learned that Trump's colleagues in the political sphere want to cut Social Security and Medicare, if not do away with it altogether. And you fell to your knees and cried, "Don't take this from us." Homosexual MAGAs were shocked to learn that Republicans in the House still want to legalize gay marriage, which baffles me because, guys, you were never accepted in the Republican Party to begin with, and certainly not MAGA. Trump, whose entire campaign ran on getting rid of all the immigrants, and yes, his board already is salivating at the thought of denaturalizing legal immigrants and getting rid of them. Well, Trump said he's in favor of H-1B, or 1B, I hear both ways, which means he's going to bring in immigrants to do jobs that, well, American workers are just too, how did Elon Musk put it? Oh yeah, too lazy and unmotivated to do. This was the biggest betrayal in MAGA's eyes. I said the morning after election night, you don't get to bitch when things start going south for you. Maybe you should have looked into what the Trump campaign was actually saying and what their policies were, instead of clapping and barking like the dumb skills you are at the rallies. If you listened, believed, and voted for Trump, you deserve to be disappointed when reality smacks you in the face. Your concerns are not Trump's concerns, and you don't get to be surprised that you were nothing more than stepping stones to him.
Fuck you very, very much.
Trump is not going to take being the president seriously, and I can say that considering the people he wants in his cabinet, like ex-football star Herschel Walker, who experts say may have some sort of brain damage, and the wife of the WWE CEO. Neither of these people have any political experience, and will get back in the corners to make horrible decisions. Or maybe I'm wrong. Please, if they are qualified, to tell me how in the comments section. There's also Kash Patel, who definitely doesn't have crazy eyes. Andrew Tate fangirl Alina Hava, who lost the trial that landed him 34 felonies, and said she'd rather be pretty than smart. RFK Jr. only went over to Trump because Kamala Harris refused to talk to him because she recognized him as someone who would ride her coattails. He's an anti-vaxxer and allegedly ate roadkill that resulted in parasitic worms eating away the rational parts of his brain. There's also Matt Gaetz, who Trump wanted for a district attorney, despite the word going around that he'd been seen at a teen drug party with an underage girl on his lap. However, when an ethics report came out about how Gaetz had a history of drug abuse and paying women to sleep with him, he dropped out of politics. And not only has he taken an interest in Andrew Tate, who fled to Romania, it has also been defended by actual sex offenders, because of course they would. He was replaced with Pete Hegseth, an alcoholic who's been known to go on anti-Muslim rants when drunk, and has shown absolutely zero signs of going to an AA meeting. Oh, there's also the couch-hopping comedian J.D. Vance, who only got his job because Trump's son said they like him, even though Vance started out on the left and said he'd never be a Trump guy, and that Trump was America's Hitler, only to pretend like he'd never said that when he realized that going right wing would give him a lot more attention and influence. I honestly forgot about him because he just so disappeared after election night.
Fuck you very, very much.
But how about we talk about Trump's biggest supporter, Elon Musk? I honestly didn't pay attention to Musk either until he bought Twitter, and even then I ignored him. But then he decided he had to be the hero the Western world didn't ask for but needed, and combat the woke mind virus, which isn't a thing. Ever since Trump won the election, there was talk that Musk had something to do with it, such as giving out thousands of dollars for votes, which is very illegal. Since Trump won, Musk has been attached to him at the hip, and it's actually pissing off Trump's staff, since they claim that he's inserting himself into things that are none of his business, and annoying everyone by trying to be comedic during serious discussions. Next to Trump, this is the guy the right defends the most. This guy. A dork who jumps around on stage and calls himself Dark Gothic MAGA, like he's some sort of supervillain. Trump has only kept Musk around because he's the richest man on earth. At the time that I was scripting this, there were whispers that Trump may have been rethinking his alliance with the man, since Musk loves being the center of attention on the level of the Orange Fuhrer himself. It only got worse when people started to notice that Musk had been acting like he'd been the one who won the election and is some sort of shadow president, pissing off Trump enough to insist that he's going to be the one in charge. Musk can actually cause some trouble before New Year's, starting by putting out a tweet saying he'd rather have immigrants working for him because he views Americans as lazy and unmotivated, calling them subutards. Of course, the reason that Musk wants immigrant workers is because they're cheap labor and, like a lot of fat cats, he has nothing but contempt for the working class. This is called a civil war with MAGAs, and Trump only sided with Musk because Musk paid him $26 million. Well, this is my first politically motivated video, and as you know, having just watched it, it sucked. I really don't want to come back to any of this after this video goes up. My regular followers on that cesspool we call Twitter, oops, I'm sorry, I did named it X. I apologize for my candor. To the MAGAs watching this ain't me crying that Trump won. I legit haven't shed a tear since that night. But hey, I know how you guys love to project, especially since Trump lost 2020. This is me getting my frustrations out there. Since you clods decided that everyone should spend 2024 in hell and pull your heads out of your asses. Smugness on social media is undeserved, and you're just as screwed as the left. Maybe even more so. This is Night saying thanks for watching. Share your thoughts with me, and my usual brand of nonsensical degeneracy will resume in the next video.